Hi fashion lovers, today we'll be cutting this dress by Total Ninja Women on Instagram. So stay tuned. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. Let's go. So guys, looking at this gown, you can see it's up and down. Is a short gown with bell sleeve. Okay, so this is the calculation I'm working with, and now you can use a waist dart on this gown or a princess dart, but for this video I'll be using a princess dart. So I divided and I added 3 inches. You can add up to 4. You can add, so bust 40, waist 32, hip 40, half length 17, gown length 38. You can see it's a short gown. Bust point 10 and sleeve length is 22. Okay, so you divide before adding your sewing allowance and that allowance. Okay, now like I said earlier, what you add is depend on the kind of dart you'll be using. You can go with our normal waist darts. You can go with French. You can go with princess darts. Okay, but for the cost of this video and for this gown itself, looking at it, it is fitted, properly fitted. Therefore, we'll be going with princess darts. Okay, so this is my pattern paper that I'll be using. You know how we do it, guys. We'll cut it on the pattern first. So this pattern paper is 13. I just measured it. First thing is to mark my shoulder. That is the beginning. All right, mark my shoulder, then I'll mark my armhole depth. I'll mark my waist. All right, that is my half length. Okay, now for this video I'll be using 17 for my half length. Then I'll rule out properly. Okay, I will equally rule the waist part of it. Now basically what I'm trying to do is we are going for the basics first. Now this gown, can it be sewn without half cut? What I mean by half cut, the gown is joined, there is upper part, there is down part. Yes, you can actually make this gown without half cut. You can equally make it with half cut. But what I'm looking at, the one Total Women, Niger Women made, has half cut. Okay, they joined the skirt and the top to make it a gown. So that is what we are going for, right? So I've marked my, indicated my half length. I've ruled it out. Next thing is to start marking my measurements. Okay, I marked my bust 30, my waist is 11. All right, the next thing is take rule and connect. Now that is my waist, that is my bust. Now I've marked out my measurements, my bust and waist measurement. The next thing, I need to determine my bust point. Why? Because of the darts, because of the French princess darts we are using. So that is my bust point 10. I will rule it out too. So having gotten my bust point, this is my bust point BP. I need to curve my armhole. Okay, so I'll use my, before doing that I need to mark my nipple to nipple. All right, for the course of this video I am using 4.5. Okay, now how did I arrive at 4.5 for my nipple to nipple? The distance between the bust point is 8. I divided it by 2 and it gave me 4. Then I added half inches, for it to be cut and sewn back. That is why I added half inches. So that is what I marked. Then between both sides, you mark half and connect it. Okay. Yes, you connect from this side, half inches, you connect from the other side to the bust point first. Now this is more like a waist dart, all right? This is the first thing. Then the next thing is for us to cover our armhole and indicate where we are to connect it from to the dart, all right? So this is how I like to place my French cuff to connect my armhole. The next thing is my neck width. Now looking at this neckline on this dress, you can see it's close. All right, so I went for 3.5. You can go for 3.5, you can go for 4. 5 will be too open. If you're trying to get the exact neck width, walk between 3.5 and 4, at most 4. 3.5 is perfect. The depth too, you can see it is just below the neck bone. 3.5 is equally okay, or 4. All right, so I'm going for 3.5, 3.5 for my neck width and neck depth. All right, looking at the dress itself, you can see it is properly covered up to the neck bone. So you slant your shoulder by 1. Next is we need to determine our mid armhole. Right, place your tape and measure. Now I'm going for 5 inches, so this is where the 5 is. I'm going for 5. All right, get my French cuff and connect. Now you must try to place your French cuff in a way it connects to the line easily. All right, it has to connect to the line easily. Once you've connected it, now to avoid the part of your armhole shorting down, you mark 1 inch the way I marked. From the line of my armhole, I measured 1 inches. Connect it back, so the arm, when sewing it, the curve, the armhole will not be shortened in any way. Now the next thing is to cut. Okay, now this is my front pattern. What of the back? The back is high back. All right, that is what we have to cut next. But first, let's cut the front. And remember I said your dart must not be a princess dart. You can actually achieve this particular dress with a waist dart. Okay, so whichever one, please do try it out. All right, and if you will be trying it out, let me know in the comment section. Okay, and if you think this neck width, the neck width and neck depth 3, if you think 4 is okay, let me know in the comment section. All right, if you think 3 or 3.5 is better for you, what do you think? Let me know on the comment section which of the neck width and neck depth will give you this neck perfectly. All right, but for me, I went for 3.5 and 3.5, so I'm just indicating my patterns so I don't miss it. Now this is our front. Our front is basically ready. Okay, the next thing to do is just cut the back part of it. The back part of it will be easier because no much dart to be done, to be cut on it. All right, now I'll be using this pattern for my back. First thing first, there will be a zip on this dress, so I will be marking my zip allowance. Now when you get a style to sew, what you look out for, you need to analyze the style before you start sewing. Like this style we are making right now is a fitted gown. How do you wear it? There must be a zip, you get. So we are marking out our zip allowance. All right, now this is my zip. I'll be using 1 inches for this video. Your zip allowance can be 1.5, it can be 2.5. It's a matter of what you can work with. All right, so I went for 1 inches as my zip allowance. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is start marking out all the basic measurements needed, starting with the shoulder. All right, mark the shoulder. We are working with shoulder 8. We'll mark our armhole depth, the same armhole depth we worked with earlier. We are marking our armhole 8. All right, the next thing is our half length. Now for this back, there is no need for bust point, just your bust and waist is what is needed. And my half length is 70, so that is what I marked right now. Okay, now you can equally apply, use French princess dart for the back of this dress. You can equally use a normal waist dart, but for this video I will be going for a normal waist dart. Okay, so I've marked my shoulder, connected it down. What I need to do right now is mark out my measurements. Now, you know the front I went for 3 inches. For this one I'll be going for 2 inches. Okay, so having marked, I just need to connect it, at the same time curve my armhole. Alright, then mark out my darts. I'll be using French curve the same way I marked out my armhole curving, the same way I'll do that here. Curve the armhole. Now, having curved my armhole, the next thing is my neck width. Now remember the front was 3, neck width, neck depth 3.5, sorry, 3.5 neck width. The same 3.5 is what I'm marking, but the depth will be 2 inches. The depth will be 2 inches, so we are marking 3.5 by 2 inches for the neck depth. Neck width 3. Then we slant your shoulder, alright, by 1 inches and connect it. You slant. So this is our back. Alright. Now for our waist dart, this is just our normal waist dart. You just mark it, okay? Now let's cut. So guys, remember, if you have any question, please do drop it on the comment section. Alright, give this video a thumbs up. So our back is ready. I think this dress is one of the easiest dress to make. The only thing on this dress is just the princess darts. You know, it is very easy, just like a basic fitted gown. That is what it is. The difference, it has a flare bare sleeve. Okay, so that is our back. Okay, we have gotten the front, we have gotten the back. What next? Let's work on the sleeve. Now this sleeve you're looking at is bell sleeve, and the length for the sleeve is 22. Okay, now this is bell sleeve. Is a long sleeve, but it is bell. You know, it gives that bell shape. That is why it's being cut. Now for my sleeve roundness. All right, the sleeve roundness is 14. Where was this measurement gotten? Before the elbow, the hand, the bigger part of this hand was measured and we got 14. Okay, now haven't gotten 14. So haven't gotten 14. The sleeve roundness is 14. Okay, now the wideness, that is the elbow. The 14 we got was measured before the elbow. Now if you look at the down part of this sleeve, the down part of it is wider. Okay, so you can go for +10. If you have 40, you can do +10, you can do +8, you can do 12, 13. The wider, the more you add, the more wider your sleeve, okay? So total I have is 14 as the wideness of the sleeve. What am I talking about? That wrist, the part of the wrist where the sleeve is touching, how big it should be. That is what I have as 24 inches. All right, as my wideness. So we'll be working with 24. All right, so 24 divided by 2. You know, when cutting the sleeve, your fabric will be folded into 2. So we are dividing the wideness of the sleeve by 2, which will give us 12. Okay, so let's move to the table first for the cutting. So guys, I folded my sleeve. I folded, remember when we divided the round sleeve roundness, it was 24. So I divided by 2, it gave me 12. So what I folded here is 13 and the length is 24. Okay, so we are in place. Length 24, width 14. Okay, that is what I folded. Now is plain white. You may not be seeing it, but by time we'll mark, you see. So I folded this into 2. Okay, so but the first thing is for me to mark my armhole depth plus 1. Now I'm going for 10. What I'm marking now is 10. The armhole I used in cutting the dress is 9. I added 1 to it and it gave me 10. That is what I marked from the unopened side. Now I placed my tape to get my full length. First, my full length is 22. Alright. And this pattern paper, when folded, the length is 24. So I'm marking 5. What is this 5? This 5 is the point where you curve for your curving of armhole. It varies in between 4 and 5. Then the next thing, this is my elbow. From my shoulder to my elbow, that is what I marked. So, alright, the remaining is the length. Okay, so let's connect it properly first. Remember what I marked initially was 10, my armhole depth plus 1. The next thing I marked is 5. What is 5 for? 5 is for the arm slanting of the sleeve. Alright, it varies. You can use 4, you can use 5. Okay. The third line I marked was my elbow, which is from shoulder to my elbow, which is 10. Okay, so after cutting this, the next thing I need to do is mark right at the elbow. I need to mark that roundness of sleeve, the one I measured. You know, there is a roundness of sleeve I got 14. Alright, divided by 2, I'm marking 7. Alright, so the next thing is to connect. Now I just connected straight. The 10 I marked earlier, I'm connecting it straight. Now I did not go to connect it. This is 10. Alright, from up there 10, the first one is 5. Alright. This ink, this marker, I think is finished. Now this 10 is to enable me not to go put too much excess on the sleeve. Okay, that is why I marked the 10 straight down from the up to my elbow, straight down. All right, so the next thing is to slant. What am I trying to do? The curve for the arm, the sleeve, that is what I'm trying to. Now I've curved it. Once you curve it, the next thing to do is you go freehand. Now for those that have not watched how to cut a sleeve, there's a video of it on my channel. You can watch it out. Now I like to freehand when it comes to this. This is how I prefer it. All right, get the center, slant it first, get the middle, then you curve it this way. Okay, so having curved it, the next thing to do, remember I said the wideness I'll be working with is total of 24, and when divided by 2 gave us 12. So what I marked now is 12, the point of the 12. Okay, so I have marked the 12. Then now from here, you see, from point where I marked 5, the 5 where I measured 5, and slant it down. Okay, slant it down to the end of the sleeve. Now, what is the need for my elbow? I'm coming to that. All right. Now I've slanted it. This is how it looks. Okay. I slanted it to the 12. Now remember when I folded this paper, I folded more. If you slant and it's not big enough, you can slant more if you wish to. Okay. Now having slanted it, you can see I've increased it. So if the whiteness is not enough, you can always extend it. Remember, you must curve. You see the curving I did? So it will not be sharp. Okay, you must curve. So the wider it is your choice how you want it. Now you come to the elbow part of it. Now the elbow, this is it. Now this is the fitted measurement I did, which gave me 14. Now I decide to add 2 to it to make it free. Now this is the main reason why I marked the elbow part of it, because if you wish that from your shoulder to the elbow will be fitted, you can actually do that and extend it down. Okay, now I marked my fitted measurement. I added 2 inches, and that is the point where I'm connecting straight. Now that is the point where I connected. The next thing, you slant it to where you want it to be. Remember what I said earlier? It can be wider, it can be closer. It's your choice. Now you can see what I marked. I went in a little bit by the elbow. Now I don't want this K effect on this elbow. It should go off. So I'll just smoothen it off. Okay, so this is better. Now this is our bell sleeve. This is one of the easiest way you can cut your bell sleeve. There are other ways you can do that, but for ease, this is one of the easiest way. If you have any question, guys, drop it on the comment section, and remember, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for always watching. I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, suggestions, do drop it on the comment section. I will appreciate. So that is it. So you cut, this is what you cut, right? And your sleeve is ready. So this is our front. Is a princess that. Now this particular dress, you can actually equally use princess that breast tube on it. Is your choice. Whichever that you choose to apply will still give you the same result. So this is our front and the back.